Welcome back to Event Tech Live, USA and Canada 2021, and to the Omni stage in our next session, Hot Takes and Hot Potatoes on Pandemic Innovation. We're now going to bring in Mr. Jared Hatch, owner at Surprise Delight. Jared is on the line now. Jared, welcome to Event Tech Live.
Hi, James. Thanks for having us.
I'm going to hand straight over to you, Jared, because I know that you've got a packed session, so you guys can take it away, and we'll see you a little bit later on.
Wonderful. Thanks. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us at Event Tech Live. If we could have the first slide a little bit bigger, please. This is our panel of professionals in the event industry. We are providing our hot takes on event tech for this past year. We're also going to be covering hot potatoes. For those who are unfamiliar with hot potatoes in pandemic innovation, hot potatoes are a controversial issue. It's awkward and unpleasant to deal with. Some of these new platforms, techniques, and technologies over the past year have been impossible to deal with. If we could have a big slide, please. So many apps and tools and platforms, trends have emerged over the past year of pandemic hell. So we have designed this to help make sense of it all. We're mapping out everything in one document that we'll share with you after the event. The categories will be covered today from A to Z, accessibility and audio to tools and Zoom fatigue. We'll be mapping out our choices on this matrix. The axes are innovative and effortless, and controversial and prohibitive. In order to illustrate this a little bit better, we've taken consumer electronics stores and mapped them out on this matrix to give you an idea of what we're looking at. We're looking at user friendliness, creating beautiful solutions, creating scalability, or hot potatoes, clunky and ridonkulous, expensive, etc. More conventional things. If you want to have a copy of our output from the session, please scan this code and we'll email you our final picks from this session. Introducing the panelists, if we could have a small slide, please. Katie Bond, here up at the top. Jason Carey. Ashley Priest. Myself. Nagam Hilly, and Stephen Burchard. You can find us on LinkedIn. If we could have a large slide at the end of the session, then that would be great. You'll have a chance to connect with us on LinkedIn through these QR codes at the end of the session to ask us any questions or contest our choices. All right, each slide will be timed. The timer will be in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And so, who's ready to get started? Good?
Yes.
I'm ready.
We're ready.
Take it away, Stephen.
All
Let's
right.
have a large slide.
It is my turn. So welcome, everybody. Thank you for having me today. I am going to talk about Zoom. And I think at this point, everybody knows what Zoom is. It's not a new platform, but it's evolved into one of the most largest meeting platforms that's being used right now. And some of the big things, the highlights from the year are the increase in the safety and security on the platform, end-to-end encryption, as well as going into things like breakout rooms, but not necessarily breakout rooms as only that ability, but the ability now for people to choose which breakout room they want to go to, which is a huge thing. They have closed captioning now. They have actually live language translation at the bottom, which is a huge one that happened. A bunch of other app integrations that have been allowing the platform to really evolve. It has everything from AR makeup and tons of other things that are built into the platform. And now it also, so this has now evolved just not only from a meeting platform to an actually event platform where many people are using it not just for meeting with colleagues, but actually using it to host events, which has also allowed them to evolve into using something called on Zoom. On to the next person.
Zoom is Zoom fatigue because we're so sick of doing Zoom. I found this guy on YouTube called DIY Perks, and basically he built a box with a mirror and a camera, so it looks like you're always looking into the gaze of the person you're talking to rather than looking into the camera of your laptop, which is what I'm doing right now. I feel like this was something that was really innovative, but prohibitive because you have to build it yourself. And so my headline is, when can I buy this on Amazon? And are they going to be on sale 2 for 1? Because Zoom calls are not going to stop. We're still going to have to figure out eye contact and just coming back to kind of the human aspect of meeting and interacting in a way that makes sense and keeps us all awake for the next meeting and for the next slide.
Okay, so let's talk Visible. This Visible platform is all in one, and it's enterprise level in hypergrowth mode. Within this matrix, it's obvious it's on the cusp of innovation and effortlessness. And their most recent acquisitions of matchmaking, meeting inclusions, they are well into delivering a holistic, customer-first experience, rising up within this quadrant. So one of the key challenges I faced in enterprise was the lead acquisition portal, which was prohibitive, which is why they're a little bit lower when it comes to third-party initiatives, which we will talk about later with another platform integration I had to do.
Right.
Crowdport is an audience engagement platform, and this saw a huge growth in this sector in this past year as well. It is super innovative because it's allowed people really to have an engaging, no matter where they are in the world, with remote workers, with social events being canceled. This has seen a huge increase. Their core functionality is in trivia. They bring out trivia games every single week, but they also, experiential marketers have used this, and event professionals have used this to really engage people with gamification on their content, because it's completely customizable from videos to text and everything in between. This has given a super big opportunity for both event professionals and experiential marketers and people that like that to really engage with their audience no matter where they are in the world, both in person, online, and in the hybrid environment as well.
I haven't had a chance to use that CrowdPer. Has anybody else?
Mm-mm.
Well,
That's very cool.
Shot after.
Very cool.
Trember is a pandemic product out of Berlin. It offers virtual rooms for larger groups made for flexible interactions. So you can move from space to face, space to space. Try it out for virtual events, fairs, virtual office environments, team collaboration activities, all hands meetings or presentations. Small slide, please. You can think of it as a Google Meet with user-controlled breakout rooms. So as you get closer to a group of people, you'll be able to hear them a little bit better.
Cool. So let's talk Integrate. Integrate. This is a demand orchestration platform that allows for more global capabilities, especially within the enterprise sector where compliance is a factor. Within this matrix, it's on the brink of conventional and effortlessness. And as we all know, data flow within an event is an imperative. And with their accrue functionality for lead capture, this is what I was speaking about earlier. We had to implement this in an enterprise level to accelerate pipeline to revenue. And this is quite possibly one of the most important tracking opportunities available.
Okay.
So it's in conventional, effortless. I think that's a solid placement.
Hop
Big
in.
slide, then.
Yeah, so I'll be real quick on this because I think we want to spend some time with our esteemed panel to get some feedback. So I've attended events on Hopin, and I've also worked on events in Hopin. Super easy to use for me, you know, coming to as a new person to the platform. I guess my headline and my question is great platform, but in a crowded space, you know, can it really stand out? So that's why I put it sort of, you know, in the conventional and effortless, because I think, you know, as we see more platforms emerge and mature, you know, there's going to be tough competition. So what do you guys think about that?
I totally agree that it is it's user friendly. It's an opportunity for people really to get into it. But I think since it's an early adopter, it was one of the earlier platforms that came out. It has a little bit of an advantage. People know it, people like it, but it has a hefty competition coming there where people are seeing where they're lacking in things. New platforms that are coming out are addressing those issues and able to take that step ahead. So in the long term, who knows if they're going to remain?
Big slide, please, then small slide.
So let's dive into Splash. Splash is an event marketing platform that helps companies market, manage, and measure all event programs. Well, why are they a little bit higher within the matrix? Easy, because they have been living and breathing the challenges of event marketers because they were event producers, while still delivering a high quality customer experience and coming out of the gate with giving the ability of a more cohesive approach to managing events from global to local with key integrations, while also building a field marketing framework. And that's going to be so important because all of the localized events that are going to be happening are going to need to be tracked, and they are still not done. So keep looking for them to be moving up in the quadrant.
I'd like to +1 Splash. Cvent. Cvent was clunky and difficult to use before the pandemic, in my opinion. Small slide, please. Cvent now offers a hybrid certification, which I have listed on my LinkedIn. I don't think that the Cvent certification for hybrid makes it any easier to use, and it makes my LinkedIn look a little bit silly. So I've placed this in conventional prohibitive.
I've always found Cvent to be a bit challenging, so I concur.
+1.
I mean, for a technology that's like based in events, it is, there's more, they should have taken opportunities to elevate and continue to move forward.
Yes.
Twine. This is one of my personal favorites. This is how I met our lovely moderator, Jared, and it is a networking app that you can drop into almost any virtual events platform. It has pretty seamless integration, and I have it on the innovative side because of that, and a little bit higher towards effortless because it is a known platform. It's just video, and the user interface is very simple, and it kind of looks like you can see from the graphic like a Zoom call. But what I like about it is the customization options where you can really connect on different levels through different categories. A lot of your attendees, you can set the time limit, you can do prompt questions, and I'm very fond of this platform, and I think they have a lot of growth opportunities, and the networking capabilities that they have with it have been really great and brought in more humanization to a lot of these virtual events we've been doing. You finally have like a good moment of connection with one person one-on-one.
I love Twine.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's another one for me. So Gather Round, which was formerly Icebreaker, it is very similar to Twine. It's for team bonding, community engagement. They say they're people-focused organizations. I'm not as familiar with this program. I like it for the gamification side, because you see in the user interface, they have all these prompts on the side, but I don't feel like it's that innovative. Unfortunately, with a lot of these technology breakthroughs that we're having, it's a lot of people doing similar things. So this one's not ranking super high on the matrix for me. And as I said, I'm kind of preferential to Twine because I like that experience with that. But I think you can do more with group play with this particular platform.
Lunch Club. So continuing in the realm of networking, Lunch Club kind of, I feel, met COVID at the right moment. They were before the pandemic, actually putting together executives for lunches, for networking lunches, and they turned that in real-time experience into a virtual experience, which is how I actually met Jared. And I just think it's the sort of thing that was the right platform at the right moment, and for the right reason. It was a little clunky at first. They kind of started with Google Meets, and then they went to their own platforms. They played around with some open source meeting rooms like Jitsi, I think and now they've moved completely onto their own platform. So it really speaks to kind of meeting COVID at the right moment with the right thing. And it's been, I think, you really get to talk to people one-on-one in a really simple way.
This one, Hio Social, is another one of my favorites. So Hio stands for Hit It Off, and their app that you can see on the side there is called Hover. And Hover is a networking as a service. It's this really interesting widget that has the capability to be overlaid onto almost any website. Like it could be Zappos.com, it could be a Zoom, it could be another virtual platform, and it extends the capability of networking in group chats, in one-on-one, direct messages. You can share files, and there are some limitations, but I have them high on the innovative side because I know they're working through them. The desktop version is amazing right now. They are working on the mobile capability so it doesn't take over your whole screen. The only thing is you have to be on the exact same screen as other users in your particular group. Otherwise, you can't interact with them. However, you can have multiple hovers for multiple different pages of one website. And then moving straight into Vimeo. So I'll do my quick spiel for everyone, but we have more time on this particular slide because they just announced their IPO. They're coming out with a lot of amazing features, and I want to hear everyone else's thoughts for this. So most people know Vimeo very well. It started as a hosting platform, and now they're giving you more opportunity to use it as like editing and collaboration tool where you can actually minute by minute make comments and suggestions as you're going through the video. I've actually done this myself with some of my marketing teams when we're working on campaigns together. And their enterprise grade video hub is another new thing that they just launched. So I'd love to hear everyone else's thoughts about Vimeo and where they think they're going to go and in their personal experience with it.
I love that there's a female founder.
I'm really, what interests me the most is to see how they pivoted their model. And even throughout the pandemic, they were able to raise money and, and offer and go IPO. I mean, a lot of companies just have to figure out what they're going to do. And this year was unlike any other in doing so.
I'm worried about seeing with them is that they haven't done as much with the music rights as other platforms like Facebook and YouTube. So that's why a lot of people have chosen as that their streaming platform is because you're able to still kind of produce any kind of event on that platform. So I'm wondering how that's going to affect them in the future.
I'm glad you brought that up because when we were having our call, we talked about that as well, and whether or not they have things like ASCAP fees, if that's something that's going to be integrated in the platform, so there's more universal usage. This one's me again. Now we're on to Otter, another one of my personal favorites. I just signed up for the full service. This has made every call that I have so much easier. You can see in the illustration on the side there how it works. It is your voice meeting notes via an AI-powered assistant. You can record and review in real time, and if you don't have caption capability on the platform you're on, you can actually use this as a quick fix to take care of that. And it's just made it so much easier to be fully engaged in client calls and networking calls because you're not so focused on typing something or writing something, and you can just stay in the moment. And then if you have the paid account, you can highlight, you can add comments, you can collaborate, and it makes it so much clearer to have this chain of communication. I cannot say how much I like this platform enough. Everyone should get it.
I'm going to plus that one as well. Awesome platform.
Yes, I love this one. Yeah.
I'm using it right now for this session.
Oh, fabulous.
Awesome.
All right, it's my turn into social audio. This is a hot topic. It was huge in 2020 with the new app of Clubhouse coming out. And if you haven't heard Clubhouse, it's so cool. Listen, once Clubhouse came out, everybody else jumped on the bandwagon between Twitter, Discord, Spotify, and dozens of other ones that have come out instantly with their own social audio platform. It's like a living podcast. The best way to describe it, you have real people talking about topics that you want to be interested in, and you can actually get up and interact with that podcast. Some of the key things there, you can't curate your content in advance, which is totally innovative, totally new, super interesting, but it is audio, so it's almost like a conference call. So it's not really super innovative, but it is new. It is super effortless though, so that is why it's higher up on that list. It's real time where people it's real time with people that you want to speak with, which is super cool as well. You could search for people that you want to connect with, whether it's a CEO, C-level executive that you want to talk to. That person has to be there in real time. So that's kind of really cool. And if you're now on the sales side of things, you actually want to connect with your customers. It allows you to do that as well. Some other really big highlights: you could do networking at lightning speed. You can actually do after discussions for conferences with speakers and attendees, and you can even do focus groups with people on this platform. So that is social audio.
We'll have more on social audio in the clickable PDF that's sent out after the session.
Yeah, so social audio. So I wanted to highlight Club Quarantine, which was started at the beginning of the pandemic by a famous DJ, D-Nice. He basically transformed his Instagram platform into a dance party, and not just a dance party, but like a global movement. Everybody could join, and he would spin these amazing sets. And I just think it was one of the things that came out really early as an innovation of a platform. But it did bring up some questions about usage, about rights. So my headline for this one is, what's the future of public broadcasting? And public meaning anybody can take their platform and broadcast, but what are the implications of it? I know that he had sessions that turned into more conversation sessions, talking about BLM, and Michelle Obama showed up on one show. It was just a great, moment. And now everybody seems to do Instagram Live. So I wanted to put this on high on innovation and high on effortless, because good music and good people, that was definitely necessary at the beginning of the quarantine.
+1.
You during, especially when quarantine sort of started, was just wanting to feel like a bit of normalcy, but also being able to sort of connect or feel like you're like a part of something. So being able to be, with Instagram Live, you can see all the different people that are in there, and it's sort of fun to see like reactions in real time when you're watching a performance or, participating almost.
Yeah. The other thing I'll bring up, the other thing that was important in this was how he connected the audio really well. So it sounded good. And, some other ones were just like horrible audio connections. So whatever he did, he got the audio right.
You need good audio. Okay, my turn. So House Party. This is a face-to-face networking app, and it allows up to 8 people to video chat at once in a quote-unquote room. And as a user, you have infinite rooms, and easily you can float between rooms. I found that it sort of like was quite trendy right when the pandemic hit. Again, everyone's stuck at home. You want to feel connected with your friends. And it was sort of fun and kitschy, like, you've got all of your friends that are in there. I found it a bit prohibitive, partially because of the privacy sort of challenges, in my opinion. Anyone can jump into your room. So I remember having an experience where I was, hanging out with a friend, having a house party, and then another person that I knew just sort of came into the room, and you can't really control that. So that was sort of like when I was like, I don't think I really like this app. And then they've had a bit of controversy. So there was, sort of talk amongst, people that there was some data breaches. They are very, they're saying there were no data breaches, et cetera. And they are sort of moving forward with some different things. They've partnered now with Fortnite mode. So, people that enjoy doing Fortnite, you can play that with your friends in that platform.
Yeah, so teleparty sort of along the same lines, the return of movie night. So teleparty allows you to watch movies with your friends, and you can discuss the movie in real time. I like the idea, but you have to have a Netflix account. It only works on certain streaming sites. Everybody doesn't want to pause the movie at the time you want to pause the movie to discuss the movie. So I'm kind of thinking, maybe movie night will evolve in some way or come back in some way, but certainly watching it on your laptop, and then if I'm watching my TV, like there's too much going on. So nice idea, and maybe it'll evolve. I don't know. Maybe House Party and Teleparty will get together and have another party.
Okay, background aesthetics. So again, pandemic hit. We're no longer in offices. People are, on these screens from their homes. It started mostly with media, and now everyone is having these meetings from home. We all currently are sitting in our respective spaces, and there is a bit of judgment. Like we all look at like how people have set up their background, and there's a lot of people that aren't doing it, and then there are people that are putting an effort into making sure that the aesthetic isn't challenging or taking away from what you're trying to do in terms of sharing a message. One thing that I found really interesting was rate my Skype room. So this is a woman in Canada. I'm also Canadian. I'm up in Canada. And they started a Twitter account where they were just going and rating different people's backgrounds. And big people, like they rated the Prime Minister, they rated different celebrities, and just giving them like a score out of 10. So it's kind of fun. Check it out.
All right, video bloopers. It's unfortunate. The New Yorker reporter Jeffrey Tobin was suspended from his job after masturbating on camera. Brett Kavanaugh also farted during a Supreme Court hearing. Texas lawyer couldn't turn off his kitten filter. ABC News correspondent Will Reeve of Good Morning America with his juicy thighs but no pants. And most unfortunate of all, this Jane Doe who put her computer down on her bathroom floor, and you wouldn't believe what happened next. All of this behavior is lowbrow and despicable, and can easily be fixed with simply paying attention. Also, a webcam cover. Get yourself a webcam cover. Get your clients a webcam cover, and get attendees a webcam cover.
Okay, virtual tastings. So looking at Bin Social, I think they're a really great option. We know that, again, corporations are trying to find ways to engage with their clients or employees, and creating sort of those experiences. And there's a lot of logistics that go into creating a virtual experience with that sort of in-home experience as well as what's happening on the screen. Being able to work with a group like Bin Social, they take all of the work out of it for you. So you're able to just work with them, tell them what you need, you give them all of the information. They have partnerships with amazing sommeliers throughout the US. They've got amazing partnerships with different, small batch vineyards. So for, those wine lovers, you're going to be able to have a box that's delivered right to your door, set everything up, open your screen, and you're able to sit there and hear, find out about these wines from the experts themselves.
I love virtual tastings. They've been so fun, actually, the ones that I've attended. I've thoroughly enjoyed them.
Totally.
Well, similar to that, we have the virtual team games, which I think has been a huge increase as well. And this is all about the shared experience. So similar to the wine tasting, you also have games that you want to play. And there can be as simple as games like trivia and bingo, but there are also more innovative ones like escape rooms where have actually transformed the whole experience. So it's super easy. The point of entry is very, very easy. And it's really innovative. Some are similar games that we've already existed, like we talked about earlier with CrowdPer, but some are very innovative, like taking the escape room experience. And actually, my company specializes in things like this. So we've done dozens of these for many companies where it's allowing these remote workforces to now work together, not only in team building, not only in social events, but connecting with clients. There's so many different use case scenarios, and gamifying, not just having a fun experience, but actually gamifying important content as well. So overall, really fun, really good.
Okay, remote gifting. So I'm looking at this a bit from a PR lens. There was a lot of different organizations or apps that offer sort of gifting, remote gifting, Sendoso, Snappy, Spoonful, Unwrap It. But they're all a bit more leaning towards corporate gifting. When you're thinking about it from a PR angle, you've got, prior to the pandemic, a product launch, a new business launch, and you're inviting, sort of key individuals, influencers, media, people in your network to an event where they're getting that whole experience, as well as being able to be introduced to, the product, the brand, et cetera, whatever it is that you're wanting to do. So how do you take that and translate it into something that you're having to utilize a virtual connection with these people and deliver something to them at home that is going to create that amazing experience that you're then going to get them talking about your product afterwards?
Nextech AR is building augmented reality for e-com, advertising, and virtual events. Recently, the company launched a product called Air Show, which will eventually allow users to view creator content in AR via live stream. I believe that in the future, this will be a novel event platform, but not until the technology becomes scalable enough or the technology is widely adopted. The company is currently fundraising and hopes to be listed on the NASDAQ later this year, also based in Canada.
Go Canada.
Yeah, I know. Well, Expo by All Seated. I think we all know this one. There's a reason Expo won the best event technology at the EventX Awards. I heard about this platform on Clubhouse mid-pandemic, and then I just had to set up a demo. I had to, and I'm sure that many people on this call have also experienced this at an event or set up a demo themselves. It's a real win for this platform. That All Seated can scan an IRL venue using Matterport and then essentially duplicate that environment digitally, meaning that for hybrid events, both in person and at home attendees can experience roughly the same environment. The only thing that I can see might be an improvement is that everybody's avatar currently looks like Rosie, the robot housekeeper from the Jetsons.
I mean, she's a great character.
I kind of like it.
Well, similar to that
Yeah.
is Deggy World. Deggy World is actually an avatar platform. So we're talking all things about the virtual space. This is now kind of an evolution of that, where you don't necessarily want to be on screen, you don't necessarily want to be seen, but you still want to interact with people. This is kind of taking the audio idea, it's gamifying it, it's creating this different world where you're now actually playing as a person that you've created. It's I think a really innovative, interesting way of doing it. It's a little bit prohibitive because there's a little bit of a learning curve to it. You have to learn what the buttons do, how it works, so it's a little tough. But Deggy World in particular is kind of cool platform because it was designed by an event company. So it was actually designed for events. It was designed for not just networking, not just that, but it's also designed for for entertainment. They have stages for different performers and things of that nature. So it's a really cool platform, and I think definitely a very cool thing for the future.
All right, Attend.live, built by the Shiraz creative team. It's a powerful interactive player that revolutionizes virtual and virtual hybrid events, giving you the tools to visualize your story in a way that you want, and it allows you to engage audiences no matter where they are. You can scan the code on this slide to see a demo. Each event is fully branded, white glove created. It's a microsite for immersive three-dimensional virtual environments. The production is fully managed by the Shiraz creative team. They've built for Visa and Avalara that I've seen demos of, for example, are complete with widgets and engagement tracking, real-time attendee interactivity, and of course, live streaming in 4K. Future plans for the platform include extending it to virtual reality.
Okay, so Pathogen Solutions. This is a shoe sanitizing station that features ozone and UVC. They have labeled themselves a disruptive technology, harnessing a unique combination of natural elements to kill pathogens by destroying up to 99.999999% of the outer wall and DNA before they become airborne and spread. You can sanitize your footwear in 8 seconds, and it's to be used before and after entering a facility or high-risk environment. So they're sort of targeting, hospitals, places where you've got sort of those frontline workers that don't really have, they're in spaces where you know that there's going to be these pathogens that we're trying to avoid. I think for something like this, you've got to make sure that you're able to get everyone to adopt using it. It's another step of having to get into your space and start working. So I find that it's probably going to be a little bit prohibitive. We all know how hard it is to get people to adopt new routines. So if we can get people on board with it in a routine, then great. I think, again, for those spaces like hospitals, labs, etc., this could be something innovative. You know, we were talking about it earlier. In a private space, maybe not so much. Just take your shoes off. Leave them at the door.
Yeah, take your shoes off and spray them with alcohol. I mean, what if this thing breaks down? You know, what do you do?
That's the other thing too. We don't know the integrity of the product. I've never seen it in person. So does it have the capability to handle, you know, many multiples of people throughout the day stepping on it? So, you know,
and then
how long does it last?
Using it correctly, staying for the 8 seconds or whatever long it takes, and then knowing we already have so many bottleneck issues when it comes to registration and entering a space. Very prohibitive.
Absolutely.
So a lot of the tools, techniques, apps, and platforms that we've covered throughout this hot potato session will be in our clickable PDF matrix. You can scan this code and be emailed that clickable PDF at the end of the event. There will be a few other blips included in that PDF matrix. Thank you so much for everybody who attended. Thank you to our lovely designer, Sace, and our transdisciplinary designer, Milika. Also, special thanks and shout out to Jennifer Rusk, who's probably in the audience here. If you want to connect with any of us, please feel free to let us know how you feel through LinkedIn DM. That would be great. Small slide, please. Thank you, all panelists, for coming and providing your hot takes. We started a little bit late. We don't have time for Q&A, but I don't think that we were planning on Q&A anyway. Our opinions matter.
It was a lot of fun.
So,
yeah, this was great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was so fun.
Yeah, I'm glad that we were able to get this together. Oop, there we go. For anybody at home. All right. Have a good day, everyone.
We are all joining.
All right.
Thank you.